media.
Good. All
Let's
right.
start with Mark. Mark, go ahead.
All right,
Hey,
Mark.
Jason.
How you doing, Mark?
How are
Good
you?
afternoon. Good. How's everything?
Everything's great. To start off, I have these sometimes basketball philosophy questions.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So I've never had the chance to ask you about this, and we were talking second chance points the other night.
Yep.
So obviously they can be things that can be backbreakers at a certain point in the game, but going after offensive rebounds also can compromise your transition defense. So with that setup, I'm just curious on your philosophy of how you feel like you should go after that aspect of the game and how it relates to components of playing basketball.
Yeah, I think in this league, anytime you can get second chance points, it definitely helps you offensively, but also it helps you defensively. But there's also the chance that your transition defense will be picked apart because the numbers, and so that's the game you have to play within the game. And so if things aren't going well for us, as they have been shooting the ball, sometimes you have to kind of run through the elbows to see if you can get a second opportunity. But with that being said, we're not making shots or getting offensive rebounds, and what's happening is our transition defense is compromised, and we're giving up a lot of points in transition. We gave up 46 points in one quarter, but they weren't all transition, but half of them were, and so we have to be careful, with that.
As you get ready for preparing for Boston tomorrow night, I'm sure you saw their game with Miami last night. What was eye-opening about that performance against obviously a very good Miami team?
Well, they had one star out. Jalen was out, and so the league is kind of crazy right now. Anybody can be beaten on any given night, but they're a team that can put a lot of points up and defensively. And so you look at Tatum, everyone's going to talk about him. But Marcus Smart and those guys, Al Horford, they're veterans. They know how to play. There's no panic over there. And they beat a very good team in Miami.
Mark asked about philosophy. I've got one as well.
Okay,
how would
cool.
you describe from when your coaching career started to now how your defensive philosophy, how it has changed, how it has evolved, both within the context of the league itself and then just you personally, the way you've coached?
Yeah, I think starting off in coaching, threes weren't at the level they are, today. So you have to make that adjustment. The game has changed with the three, the attempts. The players have changed the game, so you have to adjust as a coach. So the philosophy has changed from starting of my career coaching to where it is today, for sure.
How much the defense that's being played right now, the philosophy and the principles that you're instilling in this team directly, how much did you know you wanted to play the style right when you were hired, versus how much did that evolve and you assembled the coaching staff, talked to them, talked to players?
Yeah, I think we've always believed, or I've always believed, you have to play defense at some point in this league. If you want to win a championship, there's no team that has won a championship by not playing defense. You can score all the points you want, and you're going to be sent home early. And so I think when you look at this team being able to compete on the defensive end, I think it just gives us an opportunity to, go forward, to move towards that goal of trying to win a championship. And so you can talk about it, but also you got to have people participate, players participate, and they're participating at a high level right now. We started with something small, and that was, steals and deflections, and trying to be active defensively, and the guys have done that.
Jason, what are some of the advantages for your team when you have two ball handlers on the court at the same time and look good, Jason?
The stress level is down, especially for Luka. When you have two ball handlers on the floor, two playmakers, it helps the team, and it also helps Luka where he doesn't have to do it all.
Give us an update on KP.
He practiced today. He looked good, and I think hopefully he plays tomorrow.
How have you helped Porzingis throughout this early stretch with not being able to play? What kind of conversations have you had to keep him encouraged? I know he wants to play, but how do you help him as a coach continue to work through that so once he gets back on the floor, he can get back to where he wants to be?
Yeah, I think for him it's, he's dealing with, the injury, and so one, he's got to work through that. Two, playing 6 games in 9 days, I get to talk to him in passing. He's got to do his work. So as he gets back here to playing more, we'll talk. But I think just his health, right? We want him to be healthy. It's early in the season, and hopefully he plays tomorrow. But he's doing the work. And I think he's in a good place. So hopefully he's ready to go tomorrow.
Have you seen enough of your team with Porzingis, whether it's in games or practice, to evaluate how good you could become as a team?
No. He just hasn't played enough. So one thing is practice. You always look good in practice, but you have to go through the games. And so the more games that he plays with the guys, that I think we'll have a better feel.
Keeping the philosophical conversation going.
It's Friday.
KP, he's missed obviously some games. Have you noticed, or is there a difference in the way teams defend you guys, and specifically Luka, without KP on the court? Space or whatever?
Most likely, yes, because of the skill set that he brings. But right now, we're seeing a lot of red switching. And so with KP or no KP, we're seeing a lot of switching, keeping a body in front of Luka at all times. And so that's just something that we got to get better at. But with the skill set of KP, hopefully that can help us be able to give, LD more space to be able to drive and get to the basket.
Jason, I don't know if you knew this or not, but one of your former players, Darren Williams, will be involved in a boxing match next month.
Okay.
He's going to be boxing.
Cool.
Jake Paul undercard.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Darren's boxing?
Debo, I know his golf game, but I don't know too much of the boxing skills. So I wish him the best of luck. I don't know who he's fighting, but hopefully he can get a W.
Any advice for him? It's a tough sport.
Oh yeah, I would not have signed up.
What if I told you it was an NFL running back who was probably going to fight?
Yeah, that's it. Ooh. I wish him luck. You see a lot of former athletes boxing right now, and that's a tough sport and a hard sport. So, but I wish him nothing but success. All right.
Is
Thank
Reggie okay after his thing?
Yeah, Reggie's good. He practiced today. He was good. He's good. Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jason.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Have a good day.
Hey, Tim, welcome to media. We'll start in the room with questions, and if there's any on Zoom, we'll jump there. So, Mark, you want to start us off?
Sure. Hey, Tim. Good afternoon. Thanks for talking to us. After, I know you're just a couple of steps in a very long journey, but after 5 games in 7 days that they hit you with, this seems like maybe a good time to ask as you have a couple of days off between games. You're only 10% of the way into your season, but what do you like about what's going on right now, and what are some areas that you think is the next phase to clean up, to get better as a team, and to keep having the group come together?
Yeah, I think most importantly it's just health right now. For the most part, we're starting to hopefully get guys back on these upcoming games, and hopefully have a full team and strength moving forward. But I think, like I said, for the most part, the first thing is health, and then secondly, just continually to have that defensive mindset in each and every game, and then our offense will come.
What's good about the way the group is coming together and solidifying so far?
I think right now it's just more so of just guys making sure they have each other's back, and knowing that when you make a mistake, there's nobody really upset. It's just moving on to the next play and making sure that you don't carry that extra baggage moving on to the next possession. It happens a couple of times here and there, but for the most part, everybody's a lot more mature now. Everybody's a lot more older now, and we've been together for so long now at this point that everybody knows what each other does out there on the floor, and everybody trusts one another.
And you're winning at home, Tim. How do you keep that momentum going tomorrow?
Feels great. It's still early, so we got to make sure that we just keep that mindset of taking care of home court and making sure that we give our fans what they want, and that's a win.
How do you describe what Jalen Brunson has been able to do the last 2 games? Not just the 25-7 against Miami, but the 31-10 against San Antonio.
It's great. JB needs to continue to stay aggressive, continue to be that anchor and that motor that coming off the bench for us, whether he's coming off the bench or starting. And we know moving forward that he's going to do a great job of just making sure that he stays that way and making sure he brings it each and every day.
Tim, you mentioned the injuries. With KP not on the floor the last few games, have you noticed Do teams defend Luka in particular differently with the spacing different for you guys and that sort of thing?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know what they're trying to do, but I'm pretty sure they're trying to get the ball out of his hands for the most part. But no, I mean, it's always the next guy up, like I said in previous days, and that's what makes our group so special. That everybody's able to go out there and contribute, and they have their own way of contributing, and everybody has something to bring to the table. So it's always next man up.
Tim's, the scoring's down around the league, shooting's down.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new ball. Is the ball a factor at all to you?
I mean, Steph Curry and Jordan Poole and those guys are shooting the heck out of the ball. There is nothing with the basketball. Carmelo Anthony is still shooting the ball like he did with the Spalding ball. There is nothing wrong with the basketball. That's how I see it. There's no excuse to it. Everybody had a full summer to work with it. We could blame it all we want, but the NBA is not going to change it no time soon. So, I mean, that's what we got, and we just got to roll with it.
What's up with the ball? Small, larger, wide, what?
I have nothing for you.
Boston recently went through a situation where they had to have a players-only meeting to kind of get some things together. Have you been through a situation like that where a team has had to kind of have their own players meeting to get things together? And why do you think this team has been able to continue to develop the communication and chemistry that you guys have throughout this year and so far?
Well, I don't think. I don't know what's going on with Boston. So, I mean, I'm not focused on them. What they have in their locker room, they have their own situation. But for us, Dallas Mavericks, I think, most importantly, just being around the guys for 2+ years, 3 years, and us being able to hang out with one another off the floor and have that chemistry that you show off the floor and bring it to the court. It really does help, and it helps out when you're going through tough times and you're going through good times. So I think that's what makes our group special. I'm not saying that doesn't make anybody else's group special, but for us, that's what makes our group special, is because we do hang out with one another off the floor, and we do have those talks, and we do communicate with one another, not only on the floor, but off the floor as well.
What type of advantage is it for you guys when you have two playmakers out there on the court at the same time as Luka and Jay?
It's good. I mean, it helps. It doesn't let 77 exert that much energy while he's out there because everybody's so focused on him. So it gives other guys opportunity. When they see opportunity present itself out there on the floor, whether it's a driving lane or a possession where you could be a playmaker and score the ball or get your teammates involved. We use it, or they use it. So it helps when you have always multiple guys out there that could help create and help Luka out.
What do you like best about the changes to the defensive philosophy, the tweaks that the new coaching staff has made, and does it fit better with your approach to defense?
I wouldn't say there's any thing different for the most part. I think for the most part it's I think what is different is the guys are starting to build that trust. Like I said, we've been together for so long, and when a new coaching staff comes in, they have a new defensive philosophy. You want to make sure you go out there and execute it with a purpose, and I think that's what we're doing right now. And everybody, like I said, is trusting one another, and it starts with the bigs. When they're out there communicating and talking, it helps us guards out tremendously, and it gives us that much confidence to go out there and be up on the ball and be able to pressure and be a little bit more aggressive than what we're accustomed to. So you got kudos to the bigs when it comes to our defense and how it looks right now. Yeah.
It is probably the bigs that's where the change is happening. That they're coming in more aggressively. So you agree that it does kind of change the way that you
agree
as a ball handler?
You agree. I'm saying what I'm saying.
Okay.
You're not getting nothing out of me. I said what I said. That's you.
Hey, Tim, a question about Boban. After seeing what he did on Wednesday night, I've always observed what a unique role he has. He goes 2 or 3 games and doesn't play, and then you guys call on him and he plays 15 minutes and produces like that. As his teammate, could you share with us just kind of what you see in terms of how hard he works to keep himself ready for this very unique role?
Boban's awesome. I think one of the best things that Bobby does is not even so much on the court, it's off the court. It's him being able to communicate with everybody on the team and always have a smile. I think that's half the battle right there. And when you have someone like that with that positive mindset coming into the locker room each and every day, it makes your job, it makes his life a lot easier to go out there and perform the way he does. And right now, he's probably out there playing 5-on-5 right now with some of the coaching staff and some of the guys that don't really play as much, or he might be in the weight room right now getting stronger and taking care of his body. But Bobby's always doing something to stay ready and to stay productive, and we see it, and that's why everybody when he go out there, everybody trusts him to go to work and get a bucket. So, he does an amazing job. He's a true professional.
Feel good?
Everybody, cool.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Tim.
No doubt. Thank you.